What's up, everyone? It's Charles here with RocketPunchArmy to do a review. First of all, I just want to thank tfdirect.com for sending this out to me for a review. It's always awesome to get stuff from these guys. And today what we have is the MP-10U Earth Commander Ultra Magnus. Alright? If we're taking a look here, you're probably thinking, oh, I've seen that before, but no, you have not, because this is not based off the original MP-01 mold. This is the MP-10 mold done in Ultra Magnus style. Now, Takara has not released one officially yet. I'm not sure if they will be at any point. Take a look at the back here. Same type of box as you would find in a regular Takara Tomy release. Even the actual size figure there on the left. Bunch of Japanese writing and the gimmicks and all the little weapons that are included. So even though this is a KO, you will not find the Takara Tomy logo, since this is not based off anything Takara Tomy has released so far. The box is your usual kind of masterpiece box right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but it does have a slightly shinier finish over the actual picture of the figure. And they did a pretty good job, seeing as they didn't scan this off of anything. And you still have that wonderful foil over the logo here and the designation here, the MP-10U, which again does not exist in the Takara Tomy line. The inner tray itself is just as good as you would find on any official Takara Tomy release. Everything is included and laid out in the same way as an original MP-10 without trailer. Now, before we continue on with this figure, I did want to take an opportunity to just go over a little bit of the history of the KO. Alright, so the original MP-10 KO is this guy here, the regular MP-10. What they did with this one is not only listen to what fans had to criticize about the original official Takara Tomy, but they took those comments and tried to implement them into fixes on this. Right off the bat, some of the fixes, right here, the little hole in the crotch is not there, something about the doors closing a little bit, and they did provide extra paint apps. As you can see here, there's extra paint apps, stuff which I went over in the review, so you may want to check the review for this guy out. But there was some certain things that could have been improved. Number one is the gaps on the arms. You see these gaps, and these are the fixed ones. The gaps on the original were really bad, and thankfully they came with spare arm pieces, but you can see the gap is still there. Another thing was the pushing in of the legs, which was rather difficult to do. The version 2.0 came out, fixed the gaps here, a couple of other little fixes, same type of paint apps, but the legs were still very difficult to push into the thighs. Now, I don't actually have the version 2.0, but another thing that people complained about was the hands. As you can see, these hands are highly detailed because these are KFC articulated hands. But if we take a look at the original hands, they didn't really detail any of the rest of the fingers. So that was a big negative for me. Now, the next one to come out after the version 2.0 was this prime here, which is the Bape Prime, which does exist in official version. There's a couple of differences. If you want to know what they are, check out the video, please. But I did notice they made major improvements. They obviously got rid of the gaps here. The legs were much easier to push in. They literally just push in by pushing the button and no fighting with these. And the overall quality is really, really good. Very, very impressed. Then, of course, this guy comes along and equally impresses me as much as the Bape. It still has the major fixes here with the legs being able to go in a lot easier. As you can see, they just push right in. And the quality is still just as good. Everything's nicely and sharply molded. Paint apps are spectacular. And there's nothing loose on this figure for me. Everything is nice and tight. Now, I'm not sure if sales of the MP-01 Ultra Magnus color, whatever it was called, I don't know if the sales were just not that good, because this is an obvious repaint. I mean, Takara did give us this one, and I'm just going to tell you that I really don't see any quality difference in between these two. This, to me, if you showed me this and told me this was original, I would have to believe you. It's just beautifully done. Now, this one, had it been a Takara one, I'm assuming would not have all the extra paint apps that the KOs do. Like here on the inner leg, The little details here in the bars, and the chrome on these is just absolutely spectacular, which continues to blow me away what these KO manufacturers are doing. Now, I had mentioned earlier that the version 1 KO didn't have detailed fingers. You can see they've definitely worked in the details. So a lot of improvements have went into this. This is probably the perfect version of the KO, starting with the BAPE, because the version 2 still had the issues with the legs, but I think the BAPE in this one has been really the pinnacle of KO MP10s. Now, I also wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. Here we have the original Hasbro version, and one thing I wanted to point out, I don't know if it's a whole optical illusion, but I think the KOs have been made slightly larger since they're not using the same mold. They're just slightly larger. As a matter of fact, just go ahead and stare there at the original Hasbro. If we go ahead and quickly change it for the KO, it does seem like it's a little bulkier. And there he is with the BAPE KO and the MP-10B, which doesn't actually have a KO at this moment. It is using a Daka Toys head, by the way. And last but not least, here he is with MP-10U Ultra Magnus. So, you know, if you go by the way the G1 toy was, this technically is what's inside there. And just for fun, here's what it would look like with the KO MP-10 head on. A little closer there. And just for fun, here's what he looks like with the MP-10U Daniel sitting on his shoulder. Now, one of the things that really strikes me is the way this guy looks on display with all my other primes. I mean, it just looks so majestic, and the color just really stands out. It kind of makes me wish I had bought the original MP-01 Ultra Magnus one, because that's a lot bigger. But this will do. Then we'll do a quick pan of the rear here, so you can see the detail on this figure. Again, it's just, I don't know what to say. Every time I get one of these KOs, it just continually impress me, and this is no exception, guys. It just looks really good. Now, next thing I wanted to go over with you guys is the accessories. So you get the usual fold-up blaster here, the cannon, which is the same as all the other ones. You also get this Energon axe, which is a beautiful clear blue. It's just awesome. And then, of course, you get a die-cast matrix. Speaking of die-cast, the figure does include the same die-cast as the regular MP10s, which is the feet right here. But getting back to the matrix, this is probably the only thing that I've seen in this KO that's flawed. You'll see the little copper around here. The paint just flakes right off. I mean, you got to really hit it with your nail, but it will flake off. But other than that, I mean, the finish, it's nice and polished. There's really nothing with the metal itself. It's just really the paint that was used to go around the chrome or the polished metal here. Now, the axe just plugs right into his fist, and it actually plugs in fairly easily. I know some of these have been known to be tight in the past, but actually goes right in really easily. We're going to open up his hand here, see how this gun plugs in. Now, the handle of the gun is white. I think it's actually black with white paint over it, so if you don't want to scuff that, just be careful. I haven't had any issues, but there it goes right in there, plugged in, and it holds it very well. And of course, the gun can be placed back here. All you got to do is fold it up and just pop it right in there and close it up. Now, of course, if you want to place the matrix in the chest, you can. You just open the chest the way you would on any other MP10 mold. Bring this up, and I like how this is a little easier to bring up than the other official ones I have. And also this piece here, and you grab the matrix, and it just simply pops right in. Alright guys, so the next thing I want to do is get this guy into his alternate mode so we can check it out with the MP10 trailer. And here is the MP-10U in alternate mode. One of the first things I noticed is the lessening of the gaps. Everything clicks in a lot better than the previous KO versions. So if you guys had gigantic gaps, as you can see, mine is pretty good. Not too bad, not too shabby for a KO. Feels good. The wheels obviously roll. They're rubber. They're on the chrome rims, as you can see here. This is what the top looks like. Everything snaps in very well. It doesn't, you know, come apart here where they usually do. They split right here. And here's the MP-10U Daniel just sitting there. As you can see, he's nice and comfy. And like I said, we're going to check it out with the trailer. We have the MP-10 Hasbro version trailer, which we're going to clip on right to the back here. You know what, guys, even though this is not the trailer for Ultra Magnus, look at it. It looks absolutely awesome. I love the way the Autobot symbols match as if this trailer was made for this. And that's really just about it, guys. If you're interested in getting one of these, the MP-10U, it's available at tfdirect.com. There's a special link down below and code to save you a couple bucks off the purchase. And if there's anything you want to know about it, please leave it in the question comments below. If you're enjoying the videos, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do. And until next time, bye-bye.